Okay, hi everyone, Daryl here. Okay, so in today's video, right, I'm going to share with you guys the application process when you apply for School of Law in SUSS. Okay, so sometime around this year, I was applying for a spot in School of Law SUSS. So essentially what I did was that I logged onto the SUSS website, I did my application online, I submitted all my certificates. But one of the things that you have to do is to take the LNET test. So the LNET test is an aptitude test. I don't think that you can master it. There are a lot of websites out there that claim that if you sign up for their packages, they are able to train you to ace the LNET test. I do not believe that this is true. The LNET test is essentially a portion which is made up of MCQ questions, and then there's an essay question. So you would actually have to read a passage. Then there are, I think, 4 or 5 answers, and these answers are incredibly close. All answers actually look as though they could be the right answer, but you have to pick the most correct answer out of the 4 or 5 options out there. I can't remember whether it's 4 or 5. Okay, so after that, you would go on to the essay question. I think there are a couple of essay topics, and you could pick one of them. Okay, and all of this is actually done on a computer. So for me, I did my exam at I think it was Cuppage Center. I believe that there should be only one examination venue, which is Cuppage Center, and it's all done on the computer. At the end of it, all, you just click submit, and then you don't know your score. You will only know your score a lot later. I believe that I only knew my score after my interview, or even after I got my acceptance email, uh, to get into SUSS School of Law. So the thing is that I don't think I checked my LNET scores. I didn't check my LNET scores because I believe that since I got a spot in, then I would have done okay, decent enough for them to accept me. I don't think that the LNET score is that important, but you would have to perhaps get a decent enough LNET score. I believe, and this is just my take, I believe that the interview is more important, and this is just my take from going through the interview. Okay, so during the interview, right, I believe that this year it would be a virtual interview again. Last year, because of the pandemic, the interview was not done on campus, it was done over Zoom. I actually did the interview at home. So I came back from work, I dressed up. I believe that since I'm going to go try to get a spot in a law school, I better dress up. So I actually put on a shirt, tie, blazer, and then after I sat in front of my computer, I was put into a waiting room, and then I could actually see some of the other, candidates, all the other people in the waiting room. I talked to a few of them, tried to break the ice. I actually got to know somebody who would become a very good friend of mine during this interview. Yeah, so a shout out to my good friend Raj. So I actually made friends with him while I was in the waiting room, and then coincidentally, we were in the same law school boot camp. Yeah, and then we intend to graduate together as well. Yeah, so during the interview, right, so essentially just waiting in the waiting room, then you'll be put into the room, and during the interview, there were actually 4 people in an interview session. So I got Vice Dean and 3 other lawyers. I believe all will be like one member of the faculty, which is either Dean, Vice Dean, or the head of program. Then there are 3 other interviewers there. And the thing about the interview is that I went back to take a look at some online forum whereby they were discussing about the admission process into School of Law in SUSS, and I realized that the people who did not get a spot in the law school were people who didn't really want to become lawyers. Let me give you an example. So like there was one post which I saw whereby the interviewer posed the question of what would you do if you did not get a spot in the law school this year, and the response to that question was, I would try for another course. like maybe accountancy, economics, or mass communications or engineering. Okay, there are limited spots in the law school, and I believe that if you were the interviewer and you had to select 70 spots to give to deserving people out of maybe 200 over applicants, you would most probably want to give it to people who really want to become lawyers. So like for myself, I actually had the opportunity to further my studies. I got a first degree in another discipline. I actually had the opportunity to do my master's in another university, not SUSS. But the moment that I decided that I wanted to become a lawyer, the application to School of Law in SUSS became my only option, which meant that I knew that this was what I wanted, and I let that be known during the interview. So when they asked me what would happen if I didn't give you a spot this year, my immediate response was that I'm going to try again next year. Okay, so that is something whereby this should be your only option. It shouldn't be something that you think that, oh, if I don't get into law school, it's okay, I'm going to try to get into what, computing or something like that. Okay, this law school is here to produce practicing lawyers. It's not here to maybe give you a chance to go through some intellectual rigor as something that you want to do in your 30s or 40s, but it's something they want to produce practicing lawyers. So first you have to show them that you want to get into law school, and secondly, right, I believe that you have to show them that you deserve a spot in law school. So how do you show them that you deserve a spot in law school? They will ask you they will ask you questions, and I think that if you are working in the grassroots, you are doing some community work, you are doing some volunteer work, then please highlight this to the panel. It's bad enough that you are seated behind a computer screen and they can't see your body language. It's difficult to really ascertain whether how the candidate is, or you really get a feel of the person. But I think that you really have to show that you are grounded, you have experience working in the community, and this law school is here to produce community lawyers. When I say community lawyers, it means that people who are going to go into criminal law, going to go into family law, and you have to show that you are deserving of a spot to practice these two fields of law. So you have to show that your experiences in the community is able to fit into the whole mantra of this law school, which is to produce community lawyers. Yeah, so if you really want to practice law and you really want to become a community lawyer, I hope you do well in your LNET. I hope you do well in your application, your interview, and I hope to see you on campus. And if we see each other, then congratulations for getting to law school, and I hope to see you guys on campus. So if you see any of your seniors, just say hi to us. Okay, we're all quite chill. Okay, so that's all from me, and all the best for the interview, all the best for LNET, and I'll see you in the next video.